right time. Hands in the air, it's nighttime, hype time, nighttime, nighttime. Now's the right time, nighttime, nighttime. Let's get hype time, nighttime, nighttime. Now's the right time. Hands in the air, it's nighttime, nighttime. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are Knights of North Castle.
Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of VBS. We're here at kind of icy, chilly North Castle, and we're glad that you're joining us again. I'm here with Knight Alexander and Knight Henry, and of course Sparky. I wonder what they're up to today. Let's sit back and find out.
Welcome, Knights, again to the North Castle for day 2 of VBS. I hope you had a fantastic quest yesterday and you're ready for a new one to start today. Have you seen my dragon friend Sparky? Where did he go?
Here I am. Achoo!
Look how good the Knights froze in place when you sneezed. Where were you?
Sorry I was late. I had cold feet.
What? What are you talking about?
You know, cold feet, nervous. It's a joke.
Oh, Sparky, don't tell me you've been looking in that old joke book of yours again.
Oh yeah, I figured I better brush up on some jokes about the cold. After all, everything is cool here at North Castle, thanks to me and my sneezing.
Everything certainly is cool up here.
Knight Alexander, could you check my wing? You know the royal dog, don't you?
Frost, yes, of course, the king's dog. Did he bite your wing?
He sure did. Now I have a frost bite. Get it?
Oh no, unfortunately I do, Sparky. In other news though, I found another riddle to help us find the great armor. Remember, Knights, these riddles are written in an ancient dragon language.
And I am the only one here who can interpret. Let me see what you have.
It's right over there in the king's book, Sparky.
This one says, if the breastplate of justice is what you seek, look for 5 pebbles in a creek.
The breastplate of justice must be another piece of the great armor. So to find it, we have to look for 5 pebbles in a creek?
Well, around here it would be 5 pebbles in our frozen moat.
I think this riddle is trying to tell us something about the king's book. Can you hand me that book over there?
I have a pocket-sized edition of the king's book right here. Take a look.
Perfect. Well, in looking through here, I see where people gathered 12 rocks after they crossed a river, but that wouldn't be it.
You know, there was a boy who had 5 loaves of bread. I've eaten some bread that was just about as hard as a rock.
I've got it! There's a story in First Samuel about a boy with 5 stones. Maybe that's it. Why don't we take a look inside the king's book and see if it can help us? Ooh, this is an interesting story. Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Wow, that was one epic battle. And that story answered our question about the pebbles in the creek. Where's Sparky?
Sparky?
Is it over? Was the giant defeated? I couldn't read it anymore. It was too intense.
Yes. Where did you go? Were you afraid of Goliath?
Of course.
Oh, you don't need to be worried, Sparky. The Israelites were scared of Goliath too. And you know what? I bet that David would sure like our banner verse that we have for the week. Knights, do you remember our banner verse? It's from Ephesians 6:10, and it goes like this. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Sparky, Henry, and Knights at home, why don't you say it with me this time? Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
You know, that does give me a little more courage.
Speaking of courage, our knights did a great job on their quest yesterday. Now it's time for another quest.
They were looking more and more like knights. What are we looking for again?
Today we need all of you to help us find the breastplate of justice.
That's right. Let's sing our theme song and then go exploring.
Sounds great to me. Knights, let's stand up and sing our song together.
Hello. I've got another wonderful Bible story for you today. And it is really cold up in this castle, so I put my coat on. Well, this is a story about a giant warrior who fought with the Philistines against a little bitty Israelite boy who fought with the Israelites. The giant had a great big size and great big pride and confidence, and the little Israelite boy may have been small, but had great faith in the Lord. So let me tell you about this. Imagine that on one hill you have the whole Philistine army, lots and lots of Philistine soldiers. And on the other side, there's a hill with a lot of Israelite soldiers. And they face each other, getting ready to battle. Well, when the Philistines and the Israelites were about to battle, one warrior from the Philistine side stepped out in the middle between the battle lines and made a challenge. This warrior's name was Goliath. So let me invite Goliath onto the stage. Now he's going to be scary, so don't be too scared. Goliath. Yes. Now don't be too scared. Now Goliath here. This is just a giant teddy bear, but he's going to be my Goliath. Now, Goliath had this giant chainmail of armor that weighed 125 pounds. Just the armor itself weighed 125 pounds. Well, how could anyone carry that, you might imagine? Well, Goliath was 9 feet 9 inches tall, giant. So he needed a 125-pound thing of chainmail. He also had a helmet to protect his big old noggin. There. That's his warrior helmet, obviously. Don't go anywhere. He also had a protective mask here. Ooh, very scary. This is, woo, don't fight with Goliath. And he had a giant sword. Giant sword. We'll just stick that under there, Goliath, there. Now, don't you get me with that, okay? And he also had a shield that was carried by one of his shield bearers, so we'll just put that down there. And so Goliath, look how scary he is. My goodness, would you want to fight him? Not me. Well, Goliath would step out in the middle between the Philistine army and the Israelite army, and Goliath would say, I am Goliath. I dare one soldier from the Israelite side to come meet me in the middle, and let's battle. If the Israelite wins, then all of the Philistine army will be subjects to you. But if I win, and I know I will, then all of the Israelites will be subject to us. So come, fight me. Who will dare challenge Goliath? And you know who did? Well, for 40 days, nobody. For 40 days, every single morning and evening, Goliath would step in the middle of the two armies and say, someone challenge me. But the Israelite king, King Saul, and all of the Israelite soldiers looked at this and said, I'm not fighting him. Are you kidding me? Well, meanwhile, way back in a little town called Bethlehem, you may have heard of Bethlehem, there was a dad named Jesse who had 8 sons. Now, 3 of the oldest sons were at this battle among the soldiers. There were 3 sons. There's one son. And here's the other son. And these are turn you around there. And then there was the third son. This is a very fierce warrior. Wouldn't want to mess with him either. But as you can tell, all 3 of these oldest sons of Jesse are way smaller than Goliath, and they were too afraid, like the rest of the Israelite soldiers, to go fight Goliath. But they had a youngest brother. The youngest of 8 was named David. He was way too young to be in battle, so he was back at home tending the sheep as a shepherd. This is David, the youngest of the sons. Oh, Pika, Pika. David. I am David. Well, David would be sent by his father, Jesse, to go between the sheep and the battle to give food to his brothers. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Here's some food. Aha! And then he would go back home, tend to his sheep. Well, one day when he was coming to give food to his brothers, here you go. He noticed Goliath. And he heard the challenge from Goliath to come out and battle him. And whoever would beat him in battle, then all of the Philistines would surrender. And David was like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Anybody going to do it? Who's going to fight him? What's going to happen to whoever defeats him? Who's going to do it? And everyone was like, would you go back home? Go back to tending sheep. Who said you could be here? And he's like, come on, big bro. Why don't you do it? Won't somebody do it? And he's like, would you get out of here? You're just making a big mess and distracting us. And finally, King Saul heard that David was out there, was asking a lot of questions. And so King Saul, I'll be King Saul. King Saul invited young David to come. And King Saul said, what are you doing, David? And David said, I want to fight Goliath. And King Saul said, you're a mere child. Look how small you are. Look at how big Goliath is. See? You're way too small. And you know what David said? David said to Saul, I can do it. I have defeated lions and bears when I was caring for the sheep. And God of Israel will make sure to deliver Goliath into my hands, just like God has protected me against lions and bears. And King Saul said, well, you sure are a confident little guy. I tell you what, you can fight Goliath, but I have to give you some precious armor to keep you safe. We're going to give you some breastplate here. There you go. And we're going to give you a helmet. Here we go. There. Got your helmet. And, you definitely need a sword. There you go. You got your sword. Now you are ready to fight. Are you ready to fight? And David said, I can't even hardly stand up. This is ridiculous. I'm taking all this off. And so he took all that stuff off, and he decided to just get a few stones from the creek bed. He got 5 stones. And then he marched out to the middle of the field, and he said, Goliath, I challenge you. And Goliath looked at him and said, you, a mere child, you challenge me? Oh, dear. And David said, I will defeat you. The Lord, the God of my people, will give you into my hands. And Goliath said, All right, here we go. And Goliath started to come to the middle, and David came out to meet him. And with his rock, he did lightning bolt. Whoosh. No, wait a minute, that's a Pokemon move. He took the stone, and he threw the stone, and it went through the air, and hit Goliath right in the head. And Goliath fell over. And everyone could not believe what had happened. And David looked at the Philistines and the Israelites and said, "You see, God has protected me. God has stayed true to our people." Now, that's the end of that story. So know that even when you're facing big, scary Goliaths out there that seem mighty big and mighty confident, they may have little hearts inside. And even though we might be little, if we have big hearts with big love and big faith in God, we can do things that everyone would think is crazy. So go with big hearts and big faith, like David.
What a story! Oh my goodness. Well, Sparky gave me a little bit of an inside scoop that Dylan is going to be doing something pretty amazing that I think you're going to enjoy in our science today. So, let's see what he has in store for you. He's going to demo it, and then you get to try it at home.
Hey friends, and welcome to Science Again, Day 2. Once again, my name's Dylan, and we're going to have some fun today playing with some potential and kinetic energy. Now, our story that we just heard, all about David and Goliath, David was waiting for quite some time before he did anything about Goliath, right? David was filling up his potential energy. Now, what does potential mean? Potential really just means the ability to do something in the future. So you're going to wait, and you're going to wait a little bit and be patient, right? So all that potential energy that David was building up resulted in him taking down Goliath. The kinetic energy, right? Throwing the stone. Kinetic really just means something that you're doing presently, a motion that you're doing currently, okay? So all of that potential and kinetic energy resulted in David being able to defeat Goliath. And so today, to demonstrate that, we are going to make our very own catapult. You heard me right? Catapult. So in order to do that, you just need a few essential materials. We have some popsicle sticks here that you should have in your VBS bag, both big and small. You should have 2 big popsicle sticks and about 8 small popsicle sticks. Also, just gather from your house some scissors, a marker, and some pennies that we'll use in a little while too. Now, this is also optional, but if you have any plastic bottles, using the bottle lid will also work and make this a little bit more fun. So to start, we're going to take our 2 popsicle sticks here, and we're going to go and place them together. So they're facing each other, they're lined up perfectly, and we're going to open up our marker, and we're going to make a mark about 1/5 of the way down from these popsicle sticks on both sides. And we're placing them together so that we get a nice mark on the same side of each popsicle stick. Now that mark is just there to help us with our scissors. Next step, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to make little notches in each one of these popsicle sticks. Just a small little triangle. And this is going to help us a little bit later to hold a rubber band. All right, so I just made 1 notch in the popsicle stick, but I cheated a little bit and made 2 already, so we don't have to go through all that work. So once you have your 2 popsicle sticks, the big ones with notches in them, go ahead and gather up your 8 small popsicle sticks. So we're going to count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 more for 8. Once we have our 8 popsicle sticks, go ahead and get your rubber bands ready. And then we're going to gather up our 8 sticks and we're going to line them up so that they're forming one big stack like so. Even them out. We have a nice big stack of popsicle sticks. We're going to then take one of our rubber bands, make sure you have plenty because I'm sure one is going to break, and we're going to try to wrap around one side of our popsicle stick stacks 3 or 4 times. 4 is definitely preferable, so that they're all together, just like that. And then we're going to move around and do it on the other side, same thing, 3 or 4 times with your rubber band. You want these to be really tight. We're trying to form a lot of tension around these rubber bands because this is actually going to be the base of our catapult. Once that's ready to go like so, go ahead and take your 2 big popsicle sticks that you cut those notches into. We're only going to need one of them for now. And we're going to open up the final popsicle stick, so whatever one is last on your stack, we're going to open it up, and we're going to try to slip our big popsicle stick right through, just like that. Once you have it through, you can form almost like a cross. Look at that. Then we're going to take our other big popsicle stick with a notch, and we're going to place it right on top here of our stack, and we're going to line up the notches just like we did when we drew on them with a marker. And we're going to take one more rubber band, and we're going to wrap around our 2 popsicle sticks with notches on them, and we're going to go around 3 times, no more. 3 and 3 alone. All right. And once we have those rubber bands in place, we're just going to look at it and make sure everything looks good to go, everything's lined up. And once that is the case, you can go ahead and take your stack that should be towards the end, and we're going to push it as far as we can towards our 2 big popsicle sticks with the rubber bands on the notched end. And once we have that ready to go, you should be able to almost clap these sticks together. They're ready to go. We're ready to shoot. Now, here's my demonstration I just made for you. But we do have that option, like I said, of attaching a bottle cap on this other one that I built to our catapult so we have somewhere for an item to go to launch. All right. And we're going to set that up ready to go. And as I'm doing this, I remembered that Sparky was telling all those jokes earlier from his joke book. I kind of had one myself. What do you call a catapult that is owned by a church? A nunchuck. Nunchuck. All right. So we have our nice catapult here with a bottle cap inside it. And we have pennies. That's just our object. And we're going to place a penny inside our bottle cap. We're going to push it all the way down. And we're building up that potential energy, right? We're holding down our catapult currently. So this catapult right now and this penny has a lot of potential to do something. Just like David before he did anything about Goliath. Then as soon as I release this catapult and I send this penny launching, who knows how far, that's kinetic energy, right? That's the motion that's currently happening, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, launch. There goes the penny. And again, just to show you, if you don't have a bottle cap, it works just the same. You just have to be a little bit more careful that the penny doesn't fall off. I'm going to place the penny on the catapult again. And in 3, 2, 1, fire. Try to go ahead and experiment with yourself when you're building this catapult and move your stack closer or further away from the rubber band and see how far you can launch your penny. Thanks, friends, for joining us for science, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right, as you guys do these catapults, can I just warn you, be careful you don't shoot somebody's eye out. That's not what we want. All right, well, now we are getting ready for our art station. I know a lot of you enjoyed doing our art project yesterday. I've seen the pictures. Well, today Matt has something else in store for you. Sit back and watch, and then go be your own creator at home.
Welcome, Knights. Today in our story, we learned about a shepherd boy named David and a large man named Goliath. Now, David wasn't a soldier or anything, but when he saw Goliath's injustice and the unkind treatment of his people, he immediately volunteered to help. Now, for our art project today, to remind us that we are not afraid to stand up for others, we're going to be making wooden initial plaques. Now for this, you're going to need your baggie that has your wooden initial plaque without anything on it, has your string in there, and some decorations. Along with that, you'll need some glue, and maybe a Sharpie marker, and maybe any other decorations you may have at home as well, because you want to make it personalized for yourself. Now what you're going to do first is with your initial plaque, you're going to start by writing your initials right in the middle of it. So make it as big as you want. You can use some fancy lettering. You can make it different colors if you want. This is your plaque, so you want to make it to yourself. After that, you're going to use the decorations in there, and you're going to glue all around the outside or in the middle and decorate it however you want. Finally, you're going to use that string in there, and we're going to put it through these 2 holes on the top so that we can hang it up wherever we would like. Now, I do have a finished project that Holly made for me. Looks something like that. Now see, she did a really good job making it to herself. It looks really pretty. She made this S, this beautiful S for her last name, and she put some gems along the outside. Now you don't have to make it exactly the same way. You can make it different if you like. But here's an example of one that we use. Well, Knights, have fun with your art project today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey friends, I remember when I made my first banner plaque. I actually made it for our king here at the North Castle. Now, we haven't met him yet because he's out looking for the great armor, but he sure did make something special, and I tried to recreate that. So when you're making your art project today, try to keep that in mind. I think now we have some snack time, my favorite. I sure do get hungry up here, so I'm going to leave it to Holly and let her explain what you're going to make. We'll see you later.
All right, guys. I know a lot of you love snack time, and I know that you find that to be the best part of the whole day. So hopefully you enjoy our snack today. In your bags, or maybe at home if you just made your own, we have Rice Krispie treats. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make some dragon feet out of these. So they're really easy. All you have to do is cut off a little bit of the corner and then shape it into the back of a foot. Just like that. Sorry, probably lifted that up so you can't see it. Then you're going to cut 2 triangles to make the toes of our dragon feet. You're going to cut those out. And then you can shape it however you want. You can make them really wide foot. You can make them long toes, however you want to make those. Then you're going to take some icing, and you can make your own homemade icing. You can make it green, you can make it whatever color you want, which, can I get some scissors? I need scissors. Our icing isn't opened. Thanks, Knight Alexander.
There you go. Don't cut yourself.
I'll do my best. There we go. So then you're going to take your icing, and you're going to pile it on top. Take your knife and create your green dragon foot, or purple, or blue, or whatever color you want. Now, our dragon feet kind of remind us of something scary, something that might make us a little bit afraid. But remember from our story today that David, he defeated Goliath. He defeated his fear. When we eat these, may it remind you that you can defeat any of your fears too. I hope you enjoy your snacks today.
I've never eaten dragon feet before, have you? We're about to. I don't know, did you eat the fire stacks from yesterday? I did. I think I ate so many, I'm starting to look like a fire stack. Maybe if I eat a lot of dragon feet, I'll look like a dragon foot. Well, today I want to show you how we can continue to show love to the world around us. Yesterday we made hearts with prayers to put in our windows. Today in your bag you'll find 3 snacks. One of those are for you to keep, and 2 of them are for you to put into a sealable bag here. You're going to put that in that Ziploc bag, and then you're going to get a marker or a pen or a pencil in one of these tags, and you're going to write a nice little message of love and put that in the bag, or you can string it with some string and just put it around the bag, or punch a hole through the bag and have your tag with a nice loving message on there to hold on to the stuff. Now, who do you give this to? It's a great question. You can give this to someone who lives in your neighborhood that might be going through a hard time, and they could enjoy some snacks as an act of love. It could be someone who's in need. If you're driving around with your family and you see someone who's in need, who needs some food or maybe is homeless, maybe you could ask your parents, hey, we've got this bag in the car, can we give this to them? You'll know who to give this to. And this can be a mission for the whole family to do together. So whether it's in your neighborhood or whether you keep this in your car, let this be a way you can show God's love to your neighbor.
Well, it's time
Hello
for
everyone, and welcome to Rec Challenge Day 2. I'm Ella.
I'm Isla.
And we're so
challenge
happy.
is. I know a lot of you did a great job with the limbo yesterday. Let's see what she has in store for you today.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Rec Challenge Day 2. I'm Ella.
I'm Isla.
And we're so happy you're here with us again today, celebrating VBS. Today's Rec Challenge is to create an obstacle course in your backyard, like the one we've created. We used hula hoops, cones, soccer ball, and we just had fun with it. We want you to get fun and creative with it too, and kind of make it as fun as you want it to be, or as competitive as you want to be, and you can time yourself and see how fast you can do it. Because we all have obstacles to overcome in our lives. Just like in this story with David and Goliath. He had a pretty big obstacle to overcome. So make it fun, but also challenge yourself. All right, Isla's gonna do the obstacle course as fast as she can, and we're gonna talk about it as she goes through it, and she's gonna strike a pose at the end, all right? Okay, you ready, Isla? Here we go. She's gonna hopscotch through the first hula hoops. All right, good job. She's gonna dribble the soccer ball through the cones, oh yeah? And she's gonna finish the soccer ball in the final purple hula hoop. And don't forget to strike a pose at the end. Way to go, Isla! So you can time it. And if you're getting extra hot, because these days are getting hot, you can use a hose and spray or get a sprinkler set up and make it fun in the backyard too. So we hope you had a wonderful time at VBS today, and stay tuned for our next song, which is Hey, Hey, Goliath. So let's stand up and sing together. See you tomorrow.
Hey, hey Goliath, you look pretty big. Me, on the other hand, I'm just a little kid. So what? I may not be strong as you. There is something about me you don't know. Here's the truth, see? You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. 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 If only you knew. You think you're fighting me, but you're really fighting too. The battle's not mine, it belongs to the Lord. Greater is the one who's in me than any in the world. So you stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath, go ahead and laugh. I got a couple pebbles hidden in this bag. When I raise my arm, when I start to swing, I'ma knock you out with just a rock and a sling, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. 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 Stand before me with your shield and hey, hey, Goliath. Stand before you in the name of hey, hey, Goliath. Stand before me with your shield and hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath.
Excellent singing, brave knights.
Did you find the breastplate of justice, or did you find the breastplate of just ice? Get it? Just ice.
Yes, I think we got it.
Just ice. It's funny because it sounds like justice, but it's just ice.
Yes, Sparky, we get it. But we're searching for the breastplate of justice.
What is a breastplate anyways? What's justice?
Great question, Sparky. These are all metaphors, kind of like yesterday. They are things that are familiar to us to help us understand something that's unfamiliar. Paul, the writer of Ephesians, used the breastplate as a metaphor. The breastplate was the main part of a soldier's armor. It was used to protect the important parts of a soldier's body, like the heart and the lungs. A lot of times, when we're talking about justice, we are talking about protecting or standing up for others.
So when David defeated Goliath, that was justice?
Yes, exactly.
Last time, we found the belt of truth, and this time, we found the breastplate of justice. Those sound like two different things.
Actually, justice and truth go together, just like the belt and the breastplate go together in a soldier's armor. A soldier would need to put on his belt first and then his breastplate, just like we need to know truth first before we can figure out justice.
You know, this is making a lot of sense. I'm glad we have these knights out there helping us, though.
I agree. Knights, you've done a great job this week, and we're excited to hear more from you in the future. Oh no.
Looks like Sparky did it again. They're all frozen. Well, we hope you've had a great day here at VBS at the North Castle. We know you have lots of stuff to do today, but we hope you'll join all of your friends and your VBS leaders for our Zoom rooms here in just a few minutes. Be sure to keep posting all those wonderful pictures of as you complete all these activities at home. I can't wait to see how you overcome all those obstacles in your very own obstacle course. Before we go, let's say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for always being there for us and for giving us the courage to stand up to difficult situations and to fight for justice. We pray all of this in your holy name. Amen. We'll see you tomorrow.